Hi, this is Dave Chen, editor-at-large at slashfilm.com,
And this is Russ Fisher, managing editor at slashfilm.com.
and we're here to review Alexander Payne's newest film, Nebraska. Nebraska is about an aging father who makes the trip from Montana to Nebraska with his estranged son in order to claim a $1 million mega sweepstakes marketing prize. This movie has gotten a lot of plaudits for Bruce Dern's performance as Woody Grant. Will Forte plays his son, David Grant. Russ, I know you're a big fan of this movie. What did you think of Nebraska?
Nebraska is a really effective picture at the top level about a father and a son learning to connect with one another. Not only is Woody much older than his son, but he's not been the best father. He was an alcoholic, and things didn't go so well for the family over the years. And I think there's a simmering sense of not necessarily resentment, but the sense of bitterness that things were never quite what they might have been for the Grants. And Bruce Dern plays this character with an exemplary restraint. He's very quiet. He speaks very little in the film, which is kind of counter to who Bruce Dern is in real life. And then you've got Will Forte, who is known obviously as a comedian, doing really good work as the straight man, as not equally quiet, but a reserved guy who's bouncing off of Dern. And what emerges between them is this really tender and touching portrait of two guys who are closely related who don't really have any idea how to deal with each other, and them trying to figure out how to build their relationship as this strange miniature adventure unfolds in front of them.
Yeah, I thought there were a lot of things to like about this film. One of them is the amazing cinematography by Pheidon Papamichael, who shot the film in black and white. That was obviously a choice by Alexander Payne, but it kind of renders the Midwest with this really sort of gorgeous, scenic style that I found surprising. I did not expect the cinematography to be so breathtaking. Really like the relationship between these two characters, the Woody Grant character and the David Grant character, and like the thesis of the movie, I think, which was basically that there's still meaning to be found in these connections that we make with each other, even if there's not that much meaning to be found within the rest of our lives, like outside of our family connections. And found a lot to appreciate. That being said, I didn't think it was one of Alexander Payne's best films. It felt a little bit slight to me, a little bit inessential. What did you think?
While you're praising the cinematography by Mr. Papamichael, I think that it's also worth highlighting the music by Mark Orton, which is exemplary and I think adds a great tonality to the film, adds a lot of texture. And in addition, while it's easy to praise Dern and Forte because they're at the forefront of the film, I think the real hidden asset of the movie is June Squibb, who plays Kate Grant, the wife of Bruce Dern's character and the mother of Will Forte's character. And she gets a couple of the biggest comedic moments in the film, and she really runs with those, but at the same time, she gives the film a heart and a depth that it very much needs.
Totally agree, Russ. And I think June almost steals the film.
You know, I have Midwest roots. My father's from Northern Indiana. I spent a lot of time in the Midwest as a kid and still some as an adult. And there are a lot of elements of this film that feel extremely accurate to me and that I think prevent it from feeling perhaps as slight to me as it does to you or to other people. There are two things in the film that I think people have referenced quite a bit and that to me are very resonant as accurate observations, and they're paired. One is that as Woody is going down to Nebraska, there's a point where members of his family arrange kind of a get-together with a bunch of his brothers and his extended family, and he doesn't understand why they would want to bother. And then once they do all get together, there's this great scene where all of the men in this family, there may be 7 of them, most of them who are over 60, are sitting in a room together watching football, and they're not saying anything to each other. And when they do try to talk, it's about stuff that seems very superficial, like cars. And I think that what the film is really tapping into there is these really interesting topics of families who don't know how to communicate with each other and generations between men who don't know how to communicate with each other. And there's a desire to do so, and there's a desire to make something happen, but nobody really has the tools. And that, to me, is something I've experienced in my own life, and it's something I've seen other people pointing at the film as I've seen other people thinking that that's Payne making fun of these characters, and I don't think he's doing that. I think he's observing them, and I think he's observing them calmly and with an eye for detail and an eye for accuracy. And that gives the film a greater weight to me, and made it feel like there was more of a realistic backing to the whole thing.
Interesting. I think the fact that we both saw the movie and took away completely different things is kind of a testament to how much richness there is there. And even though I might not have liked it as much as you did, it's certainly a film that I respect and admire a great deal. So it sounds like you recommend it. I would also recommend it. Nebraska is out in theaters right now. This is David Chen from slashfilm.com, and you are?
Russ Fisher from slashfilm.com.
And thank you guys for listening.